Hi, hello, welcome back. My name's Cooper. I have 15 years of experience in painting, and my life's falling apart. You know it's falling apart because it's 3 p.m. and I've just made my first coffee. If things are going well, I would have had coffee at 9 a.m. like a regular upstanding citizen. So who better to tell you about how to get organized? Because every artist needs to have at least a base level of organization in order to have a successful career. So today I'm going to share 4 things you need in order to overhaul and keep up with all the things you need as an artist to thrive. Okay, thing number 1. Every artist needs a place to write stuff down. So when we're out in the world, oftentimes a great idea will strike you. It'll come to you. You'll see it in your mind. You'll get inspired by something on the street. You'll read something you're really interested in. You'll watch something that really struck you. Someone will tell you that you need to look someone up. And when that happens, you need to have a place to write it down. Otherwise, it goes in one ear, out the other, and then it's gone. And you have to try to rack your brains later to remember it, but it's much easier if you just already have a place to write it down. And lucky for you, there are so many ways to do that. You can keep a physical notebook. You can use the Notes app on your phone. And you can even carry around a Polaroid camera and always be taking photos of stuff. But you just need a way to capture moments, ideas, recommendations, all those sorts of things. And so if you can use something small enough that you can carry with you and keep in your pocket, you can always be grabbing things and you can use them later. And some of the ideas and references might not end up to be useful, but just having a way to collect information and store it to use later is hugely important and beneficial to your work. Thing number 2 is that you need to use a calendar. So I'm in grad school right now. And so this is the kind of place where if you weren't a calendar person before, you are now. But in general, as an artist, there are community events, you have your own exhibitions that you're planning for, maybe there are open calls you want to apply to, and even grants and residency applications. So there's family events, birthdays. So there's lots and lots of things that you need to keep track of as an adult and as an artist. So the best way to save yourself a lot of headache is just to write it down on the calendar side of things. So having a place to take notes and having a calendar to write down events are 2 things that are going to make your life so much easier. And also, people really notice when you send them a birthday card on the day every year. That says a lot about how put together your life is. So when and if I have the bandwidth to do that, people are very impressed. Okay, thing number 3 is have a digital library. So we talked about having something to write stuff down and having a place to put all your events. But it's also hugely beneficial to you to have a digital library, a cloud that follows you around, where you can store all the stuff that you've been thinking about. And so this is research-based things, but also documentation for your artwork, and also where you put all your professional documents, like your resume, your CV, your bio, your portfolio, and all the statements for all the stuff you've had to apply to. And then that special folder we all have with all the rejection letters you've ever gotten. And it's a big one. And having something like that that you can reference quickly and often is huge. It's really helpful to you as an artist because there are times when you need to apply to something and you had a full schedule and you'll end up applying last minute, and it's so much easier to do something like that when you're in that situation if you can just drag and drop materials from stuff you already have prepared. And the only way that that's possible is if you already have a place where you keep everything. So with my digital library, I use the PARA method, which stands for projects, areas, resources, and archive. And I'll make a different video about that for next time. But just know that at least having a digital library in the first place is a huge win for your art practice. Okay, so The fourth thing that you need in order to be a more organized artist is you need a to-do list of some kind. Now, again, that's really easy to do. That can even also just be in the same notes app on your phone. But if you have a game plan for each day and you take a lot of the guesswork out of what needs to get done and how important it is, then you're going to get more stuff done fundamentally. And even if you only choose one thing to get done that day, if you do one thing every day, you've done 7 things a week, which is great, actually. I mean, I think a lot of us get overwhelmed with the idea that we need to get everything done on our to-do list that day. And I think that that's fundamentally doing yourself a disservice. In the same way that making a really ambitious New Year's resolution that requires a lot from you at the beginning is not sustainable, that's also not a sustainable way to do a to-do list. But if you determine the most important thing of your day and do that thing every day, after a while, all your big fires are put out, and then it gets much easier just to be productive for yourself and for your career. An example of that is recently I finally got around to renewing my passport. So that's in the mail. But it did take a full day of going over here to get my photo taken, going over here to get my passport, going all over to the post office and actually sending the stuff out. So these are the 4 things every artist needs to be organized and then have a more fruitful career. You need to take notes, have a place to take notes. You need a calendar to put stuff on. You need a digital library for yourself. And the last thing that you need is a to-do list. If you have these 4 things, you can go a lot further, a lot faster with your practice and give yourself a lot more peace of mind. So that's all for this week. Let me know how it goes. See you next time.